The first song blares out of the old, dusty record player, and the room vibrates with the powerful voice of Elvis Presley. It's February 1970, and the world is still in awe of the king. The album, On Stage, is a testament to his live performances, capturing the raw energy and passion that made him a legend. The opening track, CC Rider, sets the tone. Elvis is back, and he's not holding back. In the same year, RCA, Elvis record label, released Almost in Love. This album was a budget release, aimed at the masses who couldn't afford the higher-priced albums. It featured a mix of older hits and new tracks, like A Little Less Conversation, which would later become a staple in Elvis live shows. The album's success in the UK, reaching number 38, showed that even budget releases could find a place in the hearts of fans. But the flood of budget releases didn't stop there. RCA was churning out albums at an alarming rate. In 1970, they released a massive 4-LP box set called Worldwide 50 Gold Award Hits. It was a collection of 50 of Elvis' most popular songs, along with an EP called Elvis Sales. The box set was a hit, especially in the UK, where it reached number 49 on the charts. It was a testament to Elvis' enduring popularity, even as RCA seemed to be capitalizing on his fame with every possible release. Elvis, That's the Way It Is, was another significant release in 1970. This album captured the essence of Elvis' live performances, including hits like I Just Can't Help Believin' and Bridge Over Troubled Water. It reached number 21 in the US and number 12 in the UK, proving that fans were still hungry for new material from the king. The following year, 1971, saw the release of I'm 10,000 Years Old Elvis Country. This album was a return to Elvis country roots, with songs like Snowbird and Whole Lotta Shackin' Goin' On. The album's success, reaching number 12 in the US and number 4 in the UK, showed that Elvis could still connect with his country audience. RCA continued to push out budget releases like You'll Never Walk Alone, an inspirational compilation that reached number 20 in the UK. Love Letters followed, a collection of romantic ballads that hit number 7 in the UK. The album's success suggested that Elvis fans were still willing to buy almost anything with his name on it. Come On Everybody was another budget release, featuring a mix of older hits and new tracks. It reached number 5 in the UK, continuing the trend of successful budget albums, but not all releases were hits. Elvis The Other Sides, Worldwide Gold Award Hits, Volume 2, was a collection of B-sides, but it was poorly structured and didn't live up to the hype, despite the inclusion of an authenticated swatch of Elvis clothing. 1971 also saw the release of I Got Lucky, another budget album that reached number 26 in the UK. The album's title track, I Got Lucky, was a playful, upbeat song that showcased Elvis' lighter side. But the album's success was modest compared to his earlier releases. The holiday season brought The Wonderful World of Christmas, a Christmas album that included classics like O Come All Ye Faithful and Silver Bells. The album's release was met with mixed reactions, with some fans questioning the choice of album titles. But the album's success, reaching the charts in both the US and UK, showed that Elvis could still charm his audience with any type of music. 1972 marked a new era for Elvis with Elvis Now, featuring Help Me Make It Through the Night and Hey Jude. The album reached number 12 in the UK, showing that Elvis was still a force to be reckoned with. He Touched Me was a gospel album that reached number 38 in the UK, further cementing Elvis' versatility as an artist. The live album, Elvis as Recorded at Madison Square Garden, was a highlight of 1972, capturing the energy of Elvis' live performances. The album reached number 11 in the US and number 3 in the UK, proving that Elvis live shows were still a major draw. RCA continued to release budget albums like Burning Love and hits from his movies Volume 2, which included the recent hit Burning Love. The album's success, reaching number 22 in the US, was unusual for a budget release, showing that Elvis' new material was still in high demand. 1973 brought Aloha from Hawaii via satellite, a groundbreaking live album that reached number 1 in the US and number 11 in the UK. The album featured a mix of new and classic hits, including Burning Love and My Way. The quadraphonic version of the album became a sought-after collector's item, though finding one was a challenge. Elvis was another album released in 1973, featuring Fool and I Will Be True. The album reached number 16 in the UK, showing that Elvis was still a major player in the music industry. Raised on Rock and Elvis a Legendary Performer, Volume 1, followed, both showcasing Elvis' diverse catalog and including rare and unreleased material. 1974 saw the release of Good Times, a collection of upbeat songs that reached number 42 in the UK. Elvis recorded live on stage in Memphis, captured the energy of Elvis live performances, reaching number 33 in the US and number 44 in the UK. The album's success showed that fans were still eager to experience Elvis live shows through recordings. The flood of budget releases continued with Having Fun with Elvis, a collection of stage conversations that offered a behind-the-scenes look at Elvis live performances. 40 Greatest was a massive, TV-advertised double album that reached number 1 in the UK, selling 250,000 copies in 7 years. The album's success was a testament to Elvis' enduring popularity. Promised Land was a highlight of 1974, featuring There's a Honky Tonk Angel and If You Talk in Your Sleep. The album reached number 21 in the UK, showing that Elvis was still capable of producing hit albums. 1975 brought Today, a collection of new and classic hits that reached number 48 in the UK. The Elvis Presley Son Collection was a tribute to Elvis' early days, featuring his son recordings and reaching number 16 in the UK. The album's cover, featuring Elvis in his early days, became iconic and influenced future artists like Shakin' Stevens. Pictures of Elvis was a unique release, featuring photos of Elvis alongside his music. The album's reissue reached number 52 in the UK, showing that Elvis fans were still eager to own any piece of the king. Elvis a Legendary Performer Volume 2 was another collection of rare and unreleased material, featuring the discovery of a new Sun performance, Harbor Lights. The album's success showed that Elvis fans were always hungry for new material, even if it was from his early days. The flood of budget releases continued into 1976, with From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, a studio album that was initially marketed as a live recording. The album's success, reaching number 29 in the UK, showed that fans were still willing to buy almost anything with Elvis' name on it. The Sun Years, a collection of interviews and memories of Elvis, reached number 31 in the UK, further cementing Elvis' place in music history. Elvis in Demand was a fan-chosen collection of songs that reached number 12 in the UK, showing that Elvis fans were still actively engaged with his music. The Elvis Tapes was a unique release, featuring a press conference from 1957. The album's success, reaching number 31 in the UK, showed that fans were still interested in any new material related to Elvis. Welcome to My World was a collection of country performances from the early 70s, reaching number 7 in the UK. The album's success showed that Elvis' country roots were still a major draw for his fans. Moody Blue was a highlight of 1977, featuring Unchained Melody and Way Down. The album reached number 3 in both the US and UK, showing that Elvis was still capable of producing hit albums. Elvis in Concert was a double album released in the wake of Elvis' death, featuring live performances from his 1977 tour and a CBS TV special. The album reached number 5 in the US and number 13 in the UK, showing that fans were still eager to experience Elvis live shows through recordings. The flood of budget releases continued into 1978, with He Walks Beside Me, and Elvis Sings for Children and Grown-Ups Too. Elvis the 56 Sessions, Volume 1, and Elvis 40 Greatest were also released, both showcasing Elvis' diverse catalog and reaching the charts in the UK. Elvis a Legendary Performer, Volume 3, was another collection of rare and unreleased material, featuring Danny and a 1956 TV Guide interview with Elvis. The album's success showed that Elvis fans were always hungry for new material, even if it was from his early days. Our Memories of Elvis and Our Memories of Elvis Volume 2 were released in 1979, both featuring original tracks of Elvis with the rhythm section and without overdubs. The album's success showed that fans were still interested in pure, unadulterated Elvis. Love Songs was a TV advertised package that reached number 4 in the UK, showing that Elvis romantic ballads were still a major draw for his fans. Elvis Sings Labor and Stoller was a collection of Elvis performances of songs by the famous songwriting duo, reaching number 32 in the UK. Elvis Aaron Presley was an 8 LP box set released in 1980, featuring a mix of studio and live recordings. The album's success, reaching number 21 in the UK, showed that Elvis fans were still willing to buy any collection of his music. Elvis Presley and The Wonderful World of Elvis Presley were released by Marks & Spencer, but the albums were poorly marketed and didn't sell well. However, they became highly collectible, showing that even failed releases could find a place in the hearts of fans. Inspirations and Guitar Man were released in 1980 and 1981, respectively. Inspirations was a TV advertised package that reached number 4 in the UK, while Guitar Man was a collection of Elvis recordings with new backings and duet vocalists. The album's success showed that Elvis music was still capable of reaching new audiences. This Is Elvis was a double album tied to a documentary film, featuring a mix of familiar material. The album's success, reaching number 47 in the UK, showed that Elvis fans were still willing to buy any collection of his music. The flood of budget releases continued into the early 80s, with The Ultimate Performance and The $1 Million Quartet, both reaching the charts in the UK. The album's success showed that Elvis' legacy was still strong, even years after his death. The room falls silent as the last song fades out, and the record player clicks to a stop. The air is thick with the memory of Elvis, the king of rock and roll, and the endless flood of albums that captured his every note and word. The world may have moved on, but Elvis music remains, a timeless testament to his enduring legacy. RCA Records had a busy time with Elvis Presley, releasing many albums and compilations over the years. One of the most notable releases was the $1 Million Quartet in 1993, which featured Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash. But before that, there were many other interesting and sometimes quirky releases. In 1982, RCA put out a bootleg album called Elvis Greatest Shit. The label was quite cheeky, saying, "The king of rock and roll, you gotta be kidding." It included some of Elvis' worst tracks and outtakes, mostly from his films. It was a real mix of the good, the bad, and the ugly. The same year, RCA released several other albums, like 20 Greatest Hits, Volume 2, which featured more of Elvis' classic hits. The Sound of Your Cry and the EP Collection were also big hits, especially in the UK. The EP Collection was a set of 11 UK EP releases in a special wallet, which was considered an album for chart purposes. In 1983, RCA released Memories of Christmas, a holiday album that captured Elvis' festive spirit. Another notable release was Jailhouse Rock Love in Las Vegas, which was unique because it was an Elvis picture disc that made it onto the album charts. 1984 saw the release of I Can Help, a picture disc featuring some of Elvis' hits from the 1970s. Elvis Golden Records Volume 5 was also released, though it was not available in the UK. The first live recordings album was a treat for fans, featuring some of Elvis' earliest live performances. The 1985 release, A Golden Celebration, was a 6 LP set issued for Elvis' 50th birthday. It included full versions of his early TV appearances and showed Elvis at his best. Reconsider Baby was another blues-focused album that showcased Elvis' versatility. In 1986, RCA launched the Essential Elvis series, which included more outtakes and rare tracks. The Complete Sun Sessions, in 1987, was a 2 LP set that came close to including all of Elvis' early recordings at Sun Studios. 1987 was a big year for Elvis with the release of Presley The All-Time Greatest Hits, a heavily promoted package for the 10th anniversary of his death. It included some of his most iconic songs and reached No. 4 in the UK charts. The 1990s brought more compilations and reissues. The Complete 50s Masters and From Nashville to Memphis, the Essential 60s Masters were 5 CD sets that covered Elvis' career in the 1950s and 1960s, respectively. These were followed by the Essential Collection in 1994, which was another hit, reaching No. 6 in the UK. 1995 saw the release of Walk a Mile in My Shoes, the Essential 70s Masters, a 5 CD set that focused on Elvis' later years. Elvis 56, in 1996, had a neat hardback cover with vintage session shots, making it a collector's item. The turn of the millennium brought the 50 Greatest Hits in 2000, a 2 CD set that was a huge success. The Live Greatest Hits in 2001 featured some of Elvis' best live performances, and the 50 Greatest Love Songs was another hit, reaching No. 21 in the UK charts. 2002 was a big year for Elvis with 30 #1 hits, which topped the charts in both the US and UK. The special edition included outtakes and a booklet with fan testimonials. Today, Tomorrow, and Forever was a 4-CD set of alternative takes, marking the 25th anniversary of Elvis' death. In 2003, Second to None and Christmas Peace were both successful releases. 2004 saw the release of Concert Anthology 1954-1956, which included live performances with overdubbed musicians. 2005 brought Elvis by the Presleys, a promotional link with a TV film and book. The Complete Elvis Presley Masters in 2010 was a massive 30-CD set with 711 masters and 103 additional tracks. RCA also created the Follow That Dream series for collectors, which took original albums and added outtakes to make 2 CD packages. There were 150 releases, all beautifully packaged. In 2015, If I Can Dream Elvis Presley and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra was a huge success, reaching No. 1 in the UK. 2016 saw the release of the RCA Albums Collection, a 60-CD set that included 57 album reissues and 3 CD of rarities. The legacy of Elvis Presley continued to inspire artists and fans alike, with many songs written about him both during his life and after his death. From novelty songs like Heartbreak Hotel by Stan Freberg in 1956 to more heartfelt tributes like I Remember Elvis Presley by Danny Muir in 1977, his influence was felt across genres and generations. Elvis' music and legacy continued to be celebrated through various compilations, reissues, and new projects, ensuring that his impact on music and culture remained as strong as ever. Elvis Presley's influence on music and culture is undeniable, and his legacy has inspired countless artists to pay homage to him through their own work. Let's dive into some of the most notable songs and albums that celebrate or acknowledge the king of rock and roll. One of the earliest and most heartfelt tributes to Elvis came from David Allan Coe in 1986, with A Country Boy Who Rolled the Rock Away. This song not only pays homage to Elvis, but also to other musical legends like Hank Williams and Buddy Holly. Coe's song captures the spirit of these artists and their impact on the music world. John Fogerty's Big Train from Memphis in 1987 is a nostalgic journey through the early days of rock and roll, with Elvis at the forefront. The song paints a vivid picture of the energy and excitement that Elvis brought to the music scene. Robbie Robertson's American Roulette from the same year is a poignant tribute to the icons of the 1950s, including James Dean, Elvis Presley, and Marilyn Monroe. The song reflects on their lives and the impact they had on American culture. Mark Haley's Why Can't They Leave Him Alone in 1987 is a critical look at how the media and fans continue to exploit Elvis's memory, even after his death. It's a thoughtful commentary on the obsession with celebrity. Frank Zappa's Elvis Has Left the Building in 1988 is a satirical take on the famous phrase often used to announce the end of Elvis's performances. Zappa's version is a humorous and clever nod to the King's legacy. Depeche Mode's Personal Jesus in 1989, which reached No. 28 in the US and No. 13 in the UK, was inspired by Priscilla Presley's memoir. The song's deep, electronic sound and lyrics about a savior figure can be seen as a metaphor for Elvis's impact on his fans. Johnny Cash and Marilyn Manson both covered the song later, each bringing their unique interpretation. The Bangles' Eternal Flame in 1989, which topped the charts in both the US and UK, was written about the eternal flame at Elvis Presley's graveside. The song's emotional depth and catchy melody made it a lasting hit. George Jones's The King Is Gone in 1989 is a touching tribute that blends the worlds of country music and rock and roll. The song includes a clever reference to the Flintstones, making it both a heartfelt and humorous homage to Elvis. Stephen Baez's I Saw Elvis in a UFO in 1989 is a fun and whimsical take on the many Elvis sightings that have become part of pop culture. The song plays on the idea of Elvis living on in a mysterious and otherworldly way. Leonard Cohen's collaboration with Was Not Was On Elvis Rolls-Royce in 1990 is a unique and poetic tribute. The song delves into the opulence and mystery surrounding Elvis's life and legacy. Living Colors, Elvis is Dead in 1990 is a powerful critique of the exploitation of Elvis's name and image. The song features a guest appearance from Little Richard and questions the ethics of those who profit from Elvis's memory. Alana Miles's Black Velvet in 1990, which reached No. 1 in the US and No. 2 in the UK, was inspired by fans going to a candlelight vigil in Memphis. The song's lyrics and music video capture the intense devotion of Elvis's fans. Public Enemy's Fight the Power in 1990 includes a controversial line about Elvis. Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant shit to me. This line reflects the complex and often contentious views of Elvis in different cultural contexts. Dire Straits' Calling Elvis in 1991 is a haunting and atmospheric song that imagines a phone call to Elvis, exploring themes of loss and longing. The Wonder Stuff's Mission Drive in 1991 includes the line, "I've never loved Elvis and I've never sung the blues," which reflects a more personal and nuanced view of the King's influence. Carl Perkins's Godfather of Rock and Roll in 1991 is a celebration of the early days of rock and roll, with Elvis at the center. Perkins, a contemporary of Elvis, brings a genuine and heartfelt tribute to the King. Mark Cohn's Walking in Memphis in 1991 is a deeply evocative song that imagines a visit to Graceland. The lyrics paint a vivid picture of the mansion and the memories it holds. Wayne Newton's The Letter in 1992 is a poignant song about a note Elvis wrote in his suite in Vegas a few months before his death. The song captures the emotional weight of Elvis's final days. Stray Cats' Elvis on Velvet in 1992 is a playful and irreverent tribute, with lyrics that poke fun at the commercialization of Elvis's image. Brendan Shine's Irish Elvis Presley in 1992 is a charming and unique take on the King's influence, blending Irish and American musical traditions. Jimmy Webb's Elvis and Me in 1993 is a personal and reflective song that shares Webb's memories and experiences with Elvis. Manic Street Preacher's Elvis Impersonator in 1996 is a critical look at the Elvis impersonators in Blackpool, questioning the authenticity and purpose of these performances. Bruce Springsteen's I'm Turnin' Into Elvis, from a live performance in Memphis in 1996, is a playful and introspective song that explores the idea of becoming like the King. Richard Thompson's From Galway to Graceland in 1996 is a sensitive and moving song about an obsessive Elvis fan. The lyrics capture the deep connection some fans have with the King. Old Dog's Elvis Has Left the Building in 1998, featuring Jerry Reed, is a fun and nostalgic cover of the famous phrase, set to a Shel Silverstein song. Warren Zevon's Porcelain Monkey in 2000 is a humorous and reflective song about a visit to Graceland, with a fascination for Elvis's bric-a-brac. Lilani's Flying Elvis in 2000 is a playful and catchy song about skydivers who perform as Elvis. The song gained additional significance after flying. Elvis was killed in a skydiving accident in 2011. Lisa Marie Presley's Lights Out in 2003 is a deeply personal song that acknowledges the space for her in the family plot at Graceland. The lyrics are both intimate and powerful. The Who's Real Good Looking Boy in 2004, featuring Roger Daltrey, is a song about growing up and wanting to be like Elvis. The melody includes a snippet of Can't Help Falling in Love, adding a touching tribute to the King. Robbie Williams's Advertising Space in 2005 is a heartfelt tribute that Williams has called his Candle in the Wind. The song is inspired by a scene in the film True Romance, where a character speaks to the spirit of Elvis. Al Stewart's Elvis at the Wheel in 2005 is a surreal and imaginative song where Elvis meets Stalin in the Arizona desert. The lyrics blend historical and fictional elements in a unique way. Kate Bush's King of the Mountain in 2005 links Elvis's death to the famous Rosebud line from Citizen Kane. The song is a poetic and evocative tribute to the King. Jimmy Velvet and David Allan Coe's Did You Know Elvis in 2007 is a fun and nostalgic song that shares lesser-known facts about Elvis's life. Suzi Quatro's Singing with Angels in 2011 featuring James Burton and the Jordanaires, is a beautiful and respectful tribute to Elvis. The song was praised by Ray Walker of the Jordanaires for its authenticity. Neil and Ness's Elvis and the Disagreeable Backing Singers, in 2013, is a humorous and imaginative take on what might happen if Elvis had a difficult time with his backing singers. The Waterboys' I Can See Elvis, in 2014, is a dark and intriguing song about the desire to murder the Colonel, Elvis's controversial manager. The lyrics explore the complex relationship between Elvis and his manager. Tom Jones's Elvis Presley Blues, in 2015, is a powerful and emotional tribute that captures the essence of Elvis's music and legacy. These songs and albums show how Elvis's influence has transcended generations and genres, inspiring artists to create their own tributes and interpretations of the King of Rock and Roll. Each piece of music adds a new layer to the rich tapestry of Elvis's legacy, keeping his memory alive in the hearts and minds of fans around the world. Jim Brown, a postman from Belfast, had a dream that transformed into an unusual musical journey. Despite his day job, he channeled his love for music into an unexpected venture. In 1999, he released an album called The King Gravelins, and followed it up in 2000 with Return to Splendor. These albums featured Jim, known as The King, covering songs from legendary rock artists who were no longer around to perform them themselves. Imagine Elvis Presley singing Whiskey in the Jar, a traditional Irish folk song made famous by Thin Lizzy, or Voodoo Chili, a blues rock classic by Jimi Hendrix. It might sound bizarre, but that's exactly what Jim Brown did. He took songs from a wide range of artists, including Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry, and T-Rex's 20th Century Boy, and gave them an Elvis-like twist. The idea of a postman from Belfast singing these songs as if he were the king of rock and roll is both whimsical and intriguing. Jim's take on these songs wasn't just a novelty act, he put his heart into the performances. His versions of these classics have a charm that goes beyond the novelty factor. His voice carries a warmth and sincerity that makes the covers feel authentic, even if the concept is a bit out of the ordinary. Elvis Presley himself was no stranger to covering songs from other artists. Many of his hits were originally performed by other musicians. For example, All Shook Up has been covered by Ry Cooder, Humble Pie, and Billy Joel, among others. Each artist brought their own unique style to the song, but Elvis's version remains iconic. Similarly, Always on My Mind was a hit for Willie Nelson and Brenda Lee, but Elvis's rendition is the one that resonates with many fans. The tradition of covering Elvis's songs continues with artists like Andrea Bocelli, Bono, and UB40 putting their own spin on Can't Help Falling in Love. These covers show how Elvis's music has a timeless quality that transcends genres and generations. Even songs like Heartbreak Hotel, which Elvis made famous, have been covered by artists like Bryan Adams, Jeff Beck, and Homer and Jethro, each adding their own flavor to the classic track. Jim Brown's albums are a testament to the enduring influence of Elvis Presley and the power of music to bring people together. His unique covers of songs from other dead rockers might seem like a quirky idea, but they showcase the universal appeal of good music. Whether you're a fan of Elvis, Bob Marley, or Jimi Hendrix, Jim Brown's albums offer a fun and heartfelt tribute to the legends of rock and roll. Elvis Presley's journey through the music and film industry was marked by a series of hits, collaborations, and personal milestones. His early days in Memphis laid the foundation for his meteoric rise to stardom. Elvis's first major hit, Heartbreak Hotel, released in 1956, catapulted him into the national spotlight. The song's success was a mix of raw emotion and catchy rhythm, which became a hallmark of Elvis's style. Elvis's rise to fame was not just about music. It also included a string of films that captured the hearts of audiences. Love Me Tender, released in 1956, was his first film, and it set the stage for a series of movie appearances. Each film brought new songs and new fans, like Jailhouse Rock in 1957, which featured the iconic song of the same name. The film's energetic dance sequence became a cultural phenomenon, solidifying Elvis's status as a teen idol. In the 1960s, Elvis continued to dominate the charts with hits like It's Now or Never and Can't Help Falling in Love. These songs showcased his versatility, from ballads to up-tempo rock and roll. His collaborations with musicians like Scotty Moore and the Jordanaires were crucial in shaping his sound. The Jordanaires, a quartet known for their harmonies, added a rich layer to Elvis's recordings, making them even more memorable. Elvis's personal life was as dramatic as his professional one. His marriage to Priscilla in 1967 and the birth of their daughter, Lisa Marie, brought a new dimension to his public image. However, the pressures of fame and constant touring took a toll on his relationships. Despite the challenges, Elvis continued to push himself artistically, experimenting with different genres and styles. His return to live performances in the 1970s, particularly his shows in Las Vegas, marked a new chapter in his career. The energy and charisma he brought to the stage were unparalleled, and his performances were often sold out. Songs like Suspicious Minds and Always on My Mind became staples of his live shows, resonating with both old and new fans. Elvis's influence extended beyond music and film. He was a cultural icon, representing the spirit of rock and roll and the rebellious energy of the 1950s and 1960s. His style, from his signature pompadour to his flashy costumes, influenced fashion and pop culture. Elvis's impact on music is still felt today, with artists continuing to draw inspiration from his legacy. Throughout his career, Elvis faced numerous challenges, including personal struggles and the changing landscape of the music industry. Despite these, he remained a beloved figure, known for his talent, charisma, and the timeless quality of his music. His songs continue to be celebrated, and his story continues to inspire. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, had a life that was as vibrant and complex as his music. Born on January 8, 1935, in Tupelo, Mississippi, Elvis grew up in a humble home with his parents, Vernon and Gladys. His twin brother, Jesse Garin, was stillborn, which left a deep impact on Elvis. From a young age, he was drawn to music, especially gospel, which he often heard at the Assembly of God Church. His first guitar was a birthday gift, and he made his first public appearance at a talent show at the age of 10. Elvis's unique style and sound began to take shape in Memphis, where his family moved when he was 13. He would often visit Beale Street, a vibrant area known for its blues and jazz music. It was here that he first heard the sounds that would influence his music. In 1953, Elvis recorded his first song, My Happiness, at Sun Records, a small but influential studio run by Sam Phillips. Phillips saw potential in Elvis and helped him record That's All Right, Mama, which became a local hit and launched his career. Elvis's early success was marked by his dynamic performances and controversial stage presence. His energetic and suggestive moves on stage drew both praise and criticism. He became a sensation, performing on national television shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, and starring in his first film, Love Me Tender. His popularity grew, and he signed with RCA Records, which helped him reach a wider audience. Hits like Heartbreak Hotel and Hound Dog cemented his status as a musical icon. Elvis's personal life was as colorful as his music. He was known for his generosity, often buying expensive gifts for his friends and family. He purchased Graceland, a magnificent mansion in Memphis, which became his home and a symbol of his success. His relationships were often in the spotlight, with girlfriends like Anita Wood and Priscilla Bowl, becoming household names. Priscilla, whom he met while serving in the army in Germany, became his wife and the mother of his daughter, Lisa Marie. Elvis's time in the army, from 1958 to 1960, was a significant period in his life. He served in Germany and returned to the U.S. a changed man. His comeback was marked by a series of successful films and albums. However, his relationship with his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, became increasingly complex. Parker, a former carnival barker, had a significant influence on Elvis's career, but their relationship was often strained. Parker's management style, which included controlling Elvis's personal life and making controversial business decisions, led to conflicts and at times isolation for Elvis. Elvis's later years were marked by a series of ups and downs. He continued to perform, including his famous Las Vegas residency, but his health began to decline. He struggled with weight issues and drug use, which took a toll on his well-being. Despite these challenges, he continued to captivate audiences with his powerful performances and iconic songs like Suspicious Minds and Burning Love, Elvis's legacy is immense. He revolutionized popular music and left an indelible mark on American culture. His influence can be seen in the work of countless artists, from Bruce Springsteen to the Sex Pistols. Even after his death in 1977, his music and image continue to inspire new generations. Graceland remains a popular tourist destination, and his songs are still celebrated around the world. Elvis Presley's life was a roller coaster of triumphs and struggles, but his impact on music and culture is undeniable. Elvis Presley's journey, from his humble beginnings to becoming a global icon, is a story that resonates with many. Born in a small town in Mississippi, Elvis grew up with a love for music that was influenced by the gospel songs he heard in church and the blues that filled the airwaves. His parents, Vernon and Gladys, supported his dreams, and even in times of hardship, they saw the potential in their son. In 1954, Elvis's career took off when he recorded That's All Right at Sun Studio in Memphis. This marked the beginning of a revolution in music, as Elvis fused elements of country, blues, and rock and roll into a sound that was uniquely his own. His performances were electric, and his charisma on stage was undeniable. Fans were drawn to his energetic dance moves, his distinctive voice, and his rebellious image. Elvis's fame skyrocketed with the release of hit songs like Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, and Jailhouse Rock. He became a movie star, appearing in films that showcased his musical talents and handsome looks. However, fame came with its own set of challenges. Elvis faced intense scrutiny from the media and the public, and the pressure to maintain his image was constant. In 1958, Elvis was drafted into the Army, a time that provided him with a break from the constant spotlight. When he returned, he continued to record and perform, but the music industry had changed. The 1960s saw the rise of the British invasion, and Elvis had to adapt to stay relevant. He found success with a series of films and continued to record, but the energy and innovation of his early years seemed to wane. Despite the challenges, Elvis remained a beloved figure. His concerts in the 1970s were legendary, and his Las Vegas shows were particularly memorable. However, the demands of his career and personal struggles took a toll on his health. Sadly, on August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley passed away at his home Graceland at the age of 42. Elvis's legacy continues to live on. His music remains popular, and his influence on popular culture is undeniable. Graceland has become a pilgrimage site for fans from around the world, and his image and music are celebrated in books, films, and memorials. Elvis Presley was more than just a musician. He was a cultural icon who left an indelible mark on the world. His story is a reminder that dreams can come true, but fame and success come with their own set of challenges. Despite the hardships, Elvis's spirit and passion for music continue to inspire generations.